Hello everybody, welcome to DigiR&T. I'm Toucan Dragon, and today we are going to be looking at what's possibly the best deck in this meta. It's so good, in fact, that can quite literally give you wings, but be careful to not disrespect your deck.
Because it can cause you to fall from grace.
You know, cause the mon we are talking about is Lucemon, who's basically Lucifer, who is basically a fallen angel. Do you get it? But seriously though, this Lucemon purple build is pretty fun. Will it top out locals? Maybe. I mean, I took it to my locals where the only thing I faced was yellow or Greymon, Mastermon, and a yellow Shine. That was weird. And it did pretty good. It got me to table 3 at one point, but then I started to counter a weird brick, which I will get into once we get to that specific level Digimon. But before I get started with this build, I want to give my thanks and credit to, I'm going to say this wrong, Batata TCG. It was his Anubismon / Lucemon build video that gave me the idea for this deck. I will post a link to his channel and that video down in the description below. So if you got a minute after this video, go check him out. He's really cool. Now, let's get to this deck profile. Starting off with our Digitama, we are playing for Demi-Meramon. And if you don't know what he does, on deletion, you draw 1, trash 1. Me personally, I feel like this is still the best baby purple Digimon that we have. The whole point of this deck is to trash Lucemon, which is why it's called Lucemon Purple. But there are other cards we want to trash as well, such as other yellow Digimon we're running, like a yellow promo Gatomon. And this kind of helps us get into that tempo. More than likely, you want to evolve opening turn Tapirmon onto this, swing security the following turn, and even if you get blocked, who cares? With Tapirmon, you get draw 1 on deletion, plus Demi-Meramon, you get draw 1 plus trash. So all in all, you get draw 2, trash 1, which helps you to the deck pretty fast, which I really like with this deck. Lastly, we are playing one Xiaomon. I have mixed feelings about this baby. His effect reads, on your turn, if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, this Digimon gets retaliation, which isn't that hard with this deck, especially late game. But earlier on, if I see this as my baby, I cringe. Because I don't want that effect, because I can't get to that effect. I need a trash. I want to draw. I want to see more Demi-Meramon. So I've been thinking about getting rid of him to replace with the purple Pugamon from the starter deck, which on deletion is trash 2, which does do well with this kind of deck. But the thing what I'm trying to do is I want more control of what I'm trashing. Most of the time when I'm dealing with effects like that, when I trash cards from top of my deck, it's usually something I don't want trash, like a tamer or an option, like especially a tamer. I hate it when my tamers get trashed because I can't get them back. Nothing as of right now in this meta can bring back a tamer from the trash, at least from my knowledge. But yeah, I hate that feeling. That's why I'm running the one Xiaomon, and it does come up every now and then, that retaliation, especially late game. But early game, it's not a good sign. So I would probably replace Xiaomon with that Pugamon, just so I could get more trash power, I guess you could say. If you want, you could technically just run the 4 dummy and call it a day. But I feel like with how long this deck can stall with the recovery, you kind of want that 5th baby. So that's my thoughts about that. Moving on. Next, for our rookies, we are playing for Tapirmon, which by far I believe is one of the best rookies Purple has to offer. Just on deletion, trash 1. It's perfect. Especially when you evolve onto Demi-Meramon with this card. Next turn, bring it out of the raisin area, swing into security. They block it, who cares? You get draw 2, trash 1. And even more so if you go into Gabumon. Now in this deck I'm running 3 Gabumon. I would run 4, but I feel like there's other rookies here that kind of prioritize that 4th. But he's also another good Digimon to run. Again, go on to the Mimiramon. Okay. Yes, it's inherited effect. Well, you know what? I don't mind evolving onto him, especially since we're running 1-cost champions and retaliators. It's perfect. Go into your blocker. Block whichever attack you want. You get the draw 3, trash 2. It's awesome, especially in this deck. More chances to trash Lucemon, because he belongs in the trash. Poor Lucy. After that, we are playing for Labramon. He's another good purple Digimon that we have access to now that BT4 is out. On play, trigger, draw a card, trash a card. Perfect opening turn if you draw Lucemon or anything you don't want in your hand. So I like this card. Most of the time, I just evolve Digimon to Tapimon, hard play Labramon. I give my opponent 3, but I'm getting some draw power and some trashing. Next turn, bring out Tapimon and just swing. I get more draw power. And just use Labramon to burst up. You know? So, I like that. I really like Labramon. Doesn't get enough credit, to be honest. To round off our purple rookies, we are playing 2 Gazimon. This card is extremely important. He's really important tech in this deck. Especially for other purple matchups, such as Lilithmon, Plutomon decks, and even yellow War Greymon. Or any yellow deck, to be honest. Because yellow now has access to Blinding Ray. I believe that's what it's called. 0-cost option card. Trash top card for security to gain 2 memory. This card stops them in their tracks. They can't. They activate it. Fine, activate it. Trash top card security. You don't get memory. Yeah, the trashing top card security can help them, but it did more harm than good because they don't get their memory from that. And other than that, this stops Lilithmon. Oh my god. Lilithmon in this meta, so far from what I've seen, has been annoying. Especially paired with Plutomon. Just being able to play potential option cards for free does get annoying. So, Gazimon stops it right there. No memory whatsoever. And I love it. And with purple, the only way they can get rid of Gazimon is either with Trump Sword, but again, why use 7-cost Trump Sword to get rid of this guy? You know, that's too much to get rid of just one rookie. Or they use Lady Devimon, which Lady Devimon has a really good inherited effect, which we'll get into in a bit. But yeah, Gazimon stops a lot of decks in their tracks. More so now that there's ways for decks to get more memory that are not from Tamers. So, I love this guy. I would not bump him up to 3. I think 2 is perfect. Actually, I really like this lineup with my purple rookies. I haven't really seen a problem with my rookies as of yet. So we are running 13 purple rookies. But to really round off our rookies, I'm going to just move this aside a little bit. We are running the main, I guess, boss of this deck, if you call him the boss. 3 Lucemon. Now, I did have him at 4 at one point, which I have been thinking about bringing him back at 4. Because there were times, especially late game, I could really use Lucemon either in my trash or in my hand. Because there has been several games where Lucemon is in the bottom of the deck, and there's no point into bringing him out when I can't really get any synergy from him. Because it's too late. But in hand, he's actually pretty good late game. A lot of people kind of forget that. So Lucemon is a 13 play cost rookie with a 10,000 DP. His main effect that we use him for is on play recovery +1. It's perfect. A lot of recovery. There's times I've built security stacks up to 8 just by playing him constantly. Now the effect that people seem to forget and that I love is technically his first effect. See if you can see it. Bring it up a little bit. Basically reads, while you have 10 or more cards in your trash, you reduce the play cost of this Digimon by 8. So he becomes from a 13 cost to a 5 cost hard play from the hand. That's insane, especially late game. And that's not hard to do when you have purple. that's why I feel like Lucemon in the future will get more support, leaning more towards purple, just because of that effect. Now, I'm pretty sure yellow could utilize that effect as well, or any other deck can utilize that effect. But purple can use that effect more consistent than any other deck, just because of the ability to trash. So yeah, we're running the 3 Lucemon. Like I said before, I might bump them up to 4, but as of right now, we're running 3. The only issue with 4 is that when you draw multiple Lucemons, which I have had that problem before when I did run 4, and it was annoying. But then reducing them down to 3, I'm like, well, I don't see him enough now. So it's a little conundrum. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Lucemon. Let's move on to our champions. Next, for our champions, we are running the best blocker we have access to for Digimon from the starter deck. 1 cost evo blocker. I love it. The best thing about this kind of mon is that you have the option to either use him to burst up or leave him as a blocker. Since he is 1 cost to evolve, easily burst up to Lady Devi or any other ultimate you want to go up into. If you don't have one, fine. Move him out of Risen Area, leave him as a blocker. Especially if you have Demi Miramon under him and Gabumon, which block on deletion, draw 3, trash 2. It's awesome. I love this card, and I just love doing that, just blocking and getting those effects going off. Next, we are running 3 Devimon from BT2 or version 1 of worldwide release, or however you want to say it. Is Devimon, the Retaliator. I like him. He comes in handy. I had him at 4 before, but I think that was too much, to be honest. I think 3 is perfect, because he's mostly there to scare the opponent. In essence, a Retaliator is another type of blocker, because if the opponent sees him on the field and they can't get rid of it, they're not going to attack. They're going to play it safe and just hold back until that Mon is off the board. And the best thing about Devimon is that his retaliation skill is also his inherited effect. So if you evolve using him, then that presence is still there, and your opponent is still going to wait and try to find a way to get rid of it without attacking it. Yeah, Devimon is pretty cool. I still like using him. To round off our purple champions, we are running 2 Wizardmon. Which, yes, again, we are playing yellow. We're playing Lucemon, and we're actually playing Gatomon, which I'll show you in a bit. But that's not the main reason why we're playing him. We're playing him just because of his on-deletion effect. On deletion, draw a card. It's awesome. You don't need a yellow Digimon for that. And people seem to forget he has that effect. So, another scenario. Demi-Miramon, Tapirmon, or Gabumon. More likely Gabumon. And then go into Wizardmon. Attack into security. Attack into something. Especially if we have a yellow Digimon, becomes a Retaliator. Attack into a big Digimon. Gets deleted. You draw 4, trash 2. So, it's insane. And like I said before, if you have a yellow Digimon in play, he becomes a Retaliator. So, in essence, we are technically playing 5 Retaliators. However, this Retaliator is more kind of situational than this guy who is always Retaliator. And lastly, we are playing 3 Promo Gatomon. This card's okay, to be honest. I mostly want to play him just so I could get more recovery. Because the 3 Lucemon kind of doesn't cut it. But Gatomon does cut it. And I've actually tempted to remove 1 Gatomon to bring back a Lucemon. Just because Gatomon is good. So, if you don't know what Gatomon does, on your opponent's turn, as long as you control a purple Digimon, it's a blocker. And then on play, if you have 3 of your security cards, recovery +1. Which has come up plenty of times in my games, and has saved me quite a bit, giving me the extra security while having the blocker on the field. The only downside of Gatomon is that she does not correspond well with Anubismon. Anubismon is very specific to a level 3 Digimon, which is Lucemon, while Massamon is 4 or below, which can be Lucemon or Gatomon. So in some situations, if you don't have Mastermon, to be honest, you don't really need Mastermon to bring her out. You could hard play it if you want to, especially if you have a Memory Tamer. You're kind of biding your time. Hard play, recovery +1, blocker. So it's there. Like I said, I might take away one, but not a hollow one, and replace it with Lucemon. Which actually I might actually do after this video, and we'll see how that goes. But for the purpose of this video and for the locals I went to, this is what I ran, and I'm gonna share that with you. So yeah, and those are my thoughts about that. Moving on to our ultimates, we are playing by far the best ultimate that purple has to offer. Lady Digimon. Oh boy, I love this card. In this deck, you need 4 of her just because of how good she is. I think Mario from Mario's Gaming World put it best that she's graceful charity. Draw 2, trash 2, and a deck that benefits from trashing, it comes into play a lot. Especially if you trash Lucemon, Gatomon, or anything else. But mostly one of those 2 Digimon. And on top of that, her inherited effect helps get rid of pesky Digimon like Gazimon that stop memory gain. Her inherited effect reads, on your turn, once per turn, when you use an option card, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. Right off the bat, boom! Gazimon or any other Mon like Gazi is gone. Or if your opponent starts swarming you with rookies, you get rid of a body off the field. You know, it comes in handy, and I love that. And we are playing, I believe, 2, 4. We're playing 6 option cards in this deck, so it can come up. Now, the issue I've had with this card, which I'll actually go to right now while I show off these other ultimates. We're playing the 2 Chimeramon and the 2 Skullmeramon. So, Chimeramon, a good Digimon just to get rid of stuff off the field. I don't know how to say it. To get rid of issues, that's the word I'm looking for. Issues that could arise, such as a Digimon going up to the ultimate. It doesn't look good. You know what they're going to go for. Get rid of it. Skullmeramon is here for a brick. Every brick, hard play for 5, it's not that big of a deal, and a burst up faster late game, since we don't want to deck out. But going back to my issue with Lady Devi, and that weird brick I was talking about earlier in the video. If Lady Devi isn't in your hand, just one, you just need one. If she's not in your hand, opening game or early game, you'll have a bad time. Lady Devi adds so much to this deck, but it kind of sucks how this deck kind of relies on her, just because of the ability to draw 2 and trash. Because there's plenty of games where I've had a rookie, champion, ultimate, mega, but I didn't have Lady Devi. I had either Skullmeramon or Chimeramon, which isn't that big of a deal, but without Lady Devi, I can't get any traction, especially if I don't have Lucemon or anything, or any level 3 to ditch from my hand to the trash. I can't use Anubismon and Mastermon to bring anything out. So I'm just there waiting, drawing turn for turn while opponent's building up. While I'm there, well, I can't do anything. Yes, you could swing to Lady Devi, but Lady Devi isn't that. She's decently strong at 8,000 AP, but you don't want to risk losing her. I guess you could if you had inherited effects on her, like Miramon, Gabumon, and Retaliator, just to get them off and kind of burst up later. But that's the weird brick I kind of encountered. Just half of the night, Lady Devi did not want to come out, and she got mad at me for some reason. So on my table, when I was in table 3, she's like, I'm gonna just stay away from you and hide in the bottom of the deck. All 4 of us. So I couldn't trash enough. You know, I couldn't trash enough, I couldn't draw enough, I couldn't get there fast enough. Yes, I had Miramon, Gabumon, those other Digimon that do help, but Lady Devimon is basically turbo. She turbos you there, and sadly I didn't have that. So yeah, I've actually been thinking about, again, keeping her at 4, since we can't play 5 of her, to remove Skullmeramon, since he didn't come up too often. So I could remove Skullmeramon to play, I guess, 2 Cerberusmon. So in that situation, I just swing, get the trash 2, draw 1, and get the other inherited effects, or play 2 Cerberusmon and then the 2 Cerberusmon Werewolf mode, or at least 3 Cerberusmon and 1 Werewolf mode, just to kind of get that small tempo, you know? I would probably do 3 Cerberusmon and 1 Werewolf mode, just see how that goes, to get more trash and draw power with Lady Devi. But it's kind of hard to do that because Chimeramon does come into play quite a bit and has saved my bacon sometimes. But yeah, I'll probably play with it later. Or you guys can try it out, let me know how it goes, or if you think that's the best option to do, then go ahead, let me know. Tell me how you guys do yours. But anyways, let's go to our megas. So our megas, we're actually not playing that many megas. We're playing 3 Mastamon and 3 Anubismon. Now, the reason we're not playing 8 or more is because we don't have to. I like to play the minimum number of megas because, to be honest with my luck, I see them more often. If I play more, I see them too much, and I'm like, why are you in my hand? But the risk, realistically though, with the amount of time we're trashing and drawing, we're going to see them. We're going to see them, and it's not going to be an issue of not running into my megas. To be honest, again, the issue I've had was not running into Lady Devi, or sometimes not running into a champion. Because again, we are running 3 Gatomon Star Yellow, which we can't really evolve up to because this is a purple base. Usually champions is when I'm lacking when I brick, but it isn't too often. So it's not an issue. And if you don't know what these guys do, Anubismon's super good. On evolution, you may play a level 3 Digimon from your trash without paying memory cost. Now, I forgot about this, so just an FYI, that's his first effect. His second effect is, on your turn, when you play a Digimon from your trash to the field, it gets rush. So my dumbass self thought, oh, that rush effect only happens with the evolution effect. No. It happens regardless. No matter what happens, if you bring out a Digimon from your trash, it does not have to be level 3. So Necrophobia, maybe, bring it out from the trash, it has rush. You can attack. So that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that pretty late. Not my last locals. The locals before that. It was pretty stupid. I found that hilarious. But yeah, he's super good. Only downside is he's 10,000 DP, pretty low for Mega. But he's our main Lucemon play. Going to Anubismon, bring out Lucemon. Lucemon has rush, swing. So sorry for the visuals. And then Mastamon is Mastamon. Mastamon can basically do the same thing Anubismon can, just slightly different. I wouldn't say better, it's just different. Mastamon's a 4 cost to evolve, 12,000 DP, 12 hard cost. Her effect is, on evolution, trash the top card from both players' security stack. Then play 1 purple or yellow Digimon card with level 4 or less from your trash to the field, without paying memory cost. So with this card, you for sure bring out Lucemon, get recovery. If not Lucemon, late game, Gatomon, get the recovery, have the blocker. Not Gatomon, anyone else that's level 4 or below. So Mastamon opens up more options, which in that case is slightly better than Anubismon, but Anubismon does provide the rush. Which if Anubismon affect red a level 4 or lower, then Anubismon will be more broken than what it is. But it's not, so we're running Mastamon. And it's pretty nice. I like it. And with that runs off all our Digimon. So we're going to go to our option cards. We are running 2 Trump Sword, 2 Night Raid, and 2 Jack Raid. Now, these Trump Swords used to be Hell's Gate. Hell's Gate does come up every now and then, but it doesn't give me that assurance and security. Because if I know if my opponent goes and swings in security, there's nothing there to stop them. You know, especially if they have a big board. Because Hell's Gate's effect reads, you may delete a level 6 or higher Digimon. Its security effect reads, add this card to your hand. So Trump Sword beats it, even though it's 1 cost more, and it's not as specific, to be honest, because it's any Digimon. Trump Sword reads, main effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon that's unsuspended. Security effect, activate the card's main effect. So you have actually some security in your security with Trump Sword. Now, if they swing with 1 Digimon and they flip that, well then, it sucks to suck. but at least you have more of a chance to survive if you run Trump Sword than Hell's Gate. The cool thing about Hell's Gate is a 6 cost, and it doesn't need to be suspended or unsuspended, it just Digimon. So they're both good in their own way, but I feel like in this deck, I do prefer my Trump Sword. Now with Night Raid, it's kind of self-explanatory. Night Raid, the reason why we play him is to kind of correspond with Anubismon. So if you don't know, Night Raid reads, main effect, play 1 level 3 Digimon from your trash onto the field without paying its memory cost. However, any on-play effects do not activate. So you could bring out, let's say you have Anubismon on the field. Anubismon brings out Tapirmon. Here, let me actually bring him out. Anubismon brings out Tapirmon, right? Tapirmon has Rush. Here, let me do this. Beep, 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 beep. There you go. Tapirmon has Rush. Swing Security. Gets destroyed. Oh well. Draw the card. Okay. Night Raid. Tapirmon out. He has Rush because of Anubismon. We'll Swing Security again. Gets destroyed. Okay. Draw a card. Night Raid again. Tapirmon. You get where I'm going with this. That has come up several times, and I love it when it comes up. Because it's annoying, but annoyingly funny. It sounds bad, but it is. And it's just a really cool combo with Anubismon. I would love to run more, but I think 2 in this deck is just perfect. And lastly, we are playing our 2 Jack Raids, which is one of the best option cards I think came out of BT4 for purple. 0 play cost, main effect reads, gain 1 memory for every 10 cards in your trash. That's easy. With this deck, that's easy. And especially late game, when this card actually does come out for me, which is late game. Most of the times, I'm getting 2 or 3 memory from activation. And it's awesome. This has won me several games, just in security and in hand. Especially against War Greymon. It's hilarious. And when I say War Greymon, I mean the yellow War Greymon, not red, because red, that one won't activate this, but with yellow, it's hilarious. So it's awesome. I love this card. And I don't remember if I said it, but security effect, gain 2 memory. So it's our version of Hammer Spark. Now lastly, to round off every card in this deck, we are playing 2 Matt Ishidas. I like him. I mean, like, with this deck, we need to be at 3 memory almost all the time to get most of our effects off, to get most of our combos off. So Matt helps us get there. At one point, to be honest, I had 2 Mats and 2 Kairis, which Kairi did come in handy sometimes, just because every time my security was trash, gain a memory, but Jack Raid came in handy more often than that. So Kairi turned into Jack Raid, and I'm keeping the 2 Mats just because of how good he is. Other than being just a memory tamer, if you have 2 or less memory, set memory to 3. On play, return 1 purple card in general, that's not a tamer, from your trash into your hand. Most of the time, I recycle Jack Raid when it gets activated from security, and it's hilarious. But other times, Lady Devi, or Anubismon, or other Digimon, I love it. Now the one downside to this deck is that, like I said before, you need the 3 memory. So, I've been debating this a lot, but I find that most of the time, if you have this card in your hand, it's best just to play it. Just so you can get more combos off and get those effects going. Because sometimes you just don't want to pass turn yet to your opponent. But opening turn, it's just my opinion. I think it's okay playing it opening turn if you have it. Even though there's nothing to bring back from your trash pile, it's fine. You do have another mat in there somewhere to bring something back. But I just think you need the memory. I could be wrong. There could be a better way to play this. There could be a better way to play a tamer in general, which I haven't really figured that out yet. But I feel like in this deck it's best to bring him out first, just to have more memory to combo off of, to build up. Lucemon in general is a really fun card to play in any type of recovery deck. I mean, he's a freaking edgy angel. He's cool, angsty boy. He plays well with yellow, but I believe he plays even better with purple/yellow hybrids. His effect alone to reduce his cost to her play to 5 if you have 10 cards in your trash is evidence of that. And his other effect that reads that he can only evolve into a Digimon with Lucemon in his name gets me excited to see where this card game is going to take Lucy in the future. So if you like this video, then please hit that like button and subscribe. But don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be notified when I post more videos, which I promise I'm getting better at. If I don't, Lucy will obliterate me, so. And again, special thanks to Batata TCG and his Anubis/Lucemon video for giving me the idea for this deck. If you have the time, I highly suggest you go check out his channel. Link will be down in the description below. I don't have an outro yet. Something comes to me in time. Anyways, bye!